Hey everyone, Sean Ellis here, and I'm excited to introduce you to our product growth simulator. So, I am one of the creators of the product growth simulator, along with Oleg Ya, my partner. And I'll give you Oleg's background first. He's got really strong data driven product management skills. He's had product management and data science roles at Meta, so the parent of Facebook, Zepto Labs, and API.ai. They were acquired by Google. My background is more leading marketing and growth at companies like Dropbox, LogMeIn, and Eventbrite. I've also written a book called Hacking Growth, and I teach growth at a number of leading business schools. So you can see our skills are really complementary, and that's allowed us to build this comprehensive growth learning program. So some of the questions I want to answer in the video today, I'm going to try to keep it short, about 10 minutes, are what are the key skills and insights that you will gain from the program? It's obviously going to be the most valuable part for you, is to learn what the heck's in this thing. Also, I'm going to just highlight who will benefit from the simulator. So is this really right for you? And then I want to dig into why is learning growth so difficult, and how does the simulator overcome some of these challenges? And then finally, how will the skills and insights that you'll gain from the program benefit both yourself and your business? So, the overall objective of the product growth simulator is to help you master the skills and insights needed to thrive in a growth role. So, you're not only going to understand the theory, but you're going to really have world-class execution habits so you can drive success in a number of different roles and really help them reach their growth potential. So, the program is super comprehensive, but if we boil it down to 6 key areas, these are the areas that you will gain really deep knowledge in. So, first is sustainable growth even possible in your business? So, for a particular product, do you have those necessary elements to be able to drive sustainable growth? So, that includes looking at the target market, product market fit, and product channel fit, and how those need to work right for you to be able to drive sustainable growth. Then we go into product growth models. And so product growth models are great for understanding the engine of growth in a business so that you can manage the levers that can really improve growth. Then we go into the fundamental growth principles. So growth really at its core has not changed in decades or even centuries. It's all about value. And so if you can deliver more value than alternative solutions for achieving the same objective, or solving the same problem, you're going to have the core elements needed to drive sustainable growth in a business. And so this whole section is just really digging into those fundamental growth principles. Then we look at growth loops. So growth loops are all about the laws of scalable acquisition channels. So getting the right people to come in and try your product and become long-term users of your product. So growth loops are a super powerful way to do that. Assuming that you've done everything that I've covered in those first 4 sections, you will be on your way to building a really valuable asset, and that asset needs to be defended. And so that's what this 5th section is about, is how can you defend your valuable business against the common risks that are really a threat to your long-term success. And then finally, we go into product and growth strategy. So figuring out what is the right strategy to achieve your objectives, and how do you allocate resources, attention, and time across these different ways of being able to achieve your growth objectives. So each of these will be introduced by a light video, and then there's a lot of depth in the simulator itself where you'll really be able to dial in the skills and habits needed to be successful in a growth role. So then the next question is simulator right for you? And the answer is if you are an experienced professional and you really want to learn the powerful skills for driving growth, and you can be a product manager, maybe a growth PM, maybe a marketer, maybe a product owner, but I've even seen CTOs. I just did an interview on my podcast with a CTO who understood growth on such a deep level. You could tell he was a super valuable contributor to his business. So I think really any role that wants to master powerful skills for growth will benefit from this. And you're going to learn the skills needed to execute in a high growth company. So this is not intended for early stage companies. that are maybe still struggling for traction. They don't yet have product market fit. We do have a program for that. It's called the GoPractice Data-Driven Product Management Simulator. So if you feel like you're more in that stage, then let us know, and we can hook you up with that simulator instead. Or another thing that might make that a better fit for you is if you have limited skill or limited experience in a growth role, you're going to learn more of the fundamental basic stuff in the other program. You'll make a lot of progress, and then you'll be able to get a lot more value from here. But yeah, this is really for experienced professionals in high growth companies. So now I want to look at this question of why is learning growth so difficult? And it really boils down to that most people approach learning growth by looking at the theory and some frameworks, and it all sounds great until they get into the real world. And the real world is way messier. And so what you need to be able to do to overcome the challenges of growth in the real world are develop the skills and habits to recognize what's going on and access the right tools at the right time for dealing with those challenges. And so you could potentially do that in kind of on the job training. And that's how some people have approached it. I would say that's how I learned. But the challenge there is that rarely is a high growth company going to take someone with less experience and put them in a role of responsibility for driving growth. So even having that opportunity is going to be somewhat limited. But even if you did get that opportunity, you're going to lack the effective feedback that you get in a simulated environment. So in a simulator, you get real-time feedback if you have made the right choices and the right decisions. Things in the real world tend to be really delayed, and so you don't actually learn very easily in the real world. So that's a lot of what makes growth difficult to learn, and why we've built the growth simulator the way we have. So you are going to be able to gain true mastery of growth by going through the program and dialing in the skills at each of the 6 sections that I outlined there. You're going to get feedback in real time. And it's actually interesting because you're going through a consistent story. You're working on a single company all the way through the simulator, working with real data, making decisions, and getting that real-time feedback. So we do introduce the concepts on a high level and with videos before each chapter, but you're immediately thrown in and given the opportunity to start executing and learning through execution. So a bit of trial and error as you go. So by the time you want to apply these skills in a business environment, you will have really had the opportunity to develop them into habits. So how is your business and really personally, how are you going to benefit from the growth simulator? Not surprisingly, it starts with growth mastery. You will be an expert by the time you're done with this program. It's taught by Oleg and me. We have really complementary experience in a number of companies, and have probably thought more about how growth works in different situations than anyone else out there. And together, we've put together a really comprehensive program. So you may have a situation where you need to put these skills to work quickly because you're in a crisis moment in your business. And we've built the flexibility in the program so that you can drive immediate impact, jump ahead, learn the stuff that applies directly to what you're doing right now, and then come back and fill in the gaps later. That flexibility is in all parts of the program. So it can match your learning style. You may want to watch all the videos through. You may want to watch the video first, then dive into the nitty gritty of each of the simulators that are for building those skills and habits in each area. It's up to you how you go through it, but it will map to the way you like to learn. And even if you want to watch all the videos straight through first, you could do all of that in less than a day, and then go through and spend. Typically it's going to take you 10 to 12 weeks to get all the way through. It's self-paced, so you may go a little faster, a little slower, but it's a very comprehensive program. And then finally, you have ongoing access to this program. You can come back anytime and refresh your skills when you have a challenge that comes back up or something that you feel like you need to refresh the skills. So that's a quick introduction to the to the simulator, the growth simulator. So go ahead and start your journey to growth mastery now, and you're going to develop the skills to be able to help your company achieve its full growth potential.